Hi there, everyone. Happy Wednesday. I'm King 5 Meteorologist Adam Claibon here on another sunny day that we've had here across the area and another clear night. It's going to be ahead, and we're going to see those temperatures drop well into the 40s. Now, there might not be as many 30s out there as there was this morning. We're going to talk about that, but also we're going to get into how later on as we head into the next couple of days, some showers around, but really the weekend is looking like it's going to be the wet period, and there could even be a wetter and chillier period ahead, more so a little long term. Late next work week and heading into the following weekend. We're going to get into all of that, but of course we have to talk about the Mariners forecast, not for tonight, but for tomorrow night, as tonight's games are already be happening. And if you are seeing it right now, hopefully the Mariners have already won Game 3, but Game 4, maybe a bit more of that cloud coverage, and there could be a few sprinkles out there too, but generally we're going to keep things dry, it looks like. And first pitch tomorrow a bit later at 5:33 p.m. Now, let's get into those temperatures again. I did mention that it was chilly this morning. We saw those lows dip all the way down into the 30s. Here around SEA, we saw those numbers down to about, I would say closer to about 38 degrees, 39 in Tacoma, 20s around Shelton and in Olympia again, and then 28 in Port Townsend, 31 in Quilliard. So it was chilly. Now expect those numbers not to be as cool as we head into tomorrow morning, and overall our pattern is going to be shifting up a little bit, and that air mass is going to be modifying. But before we get into all of that, I did want to just give you a little sneak peek as to what's going to be happening towards the end of the month of October. Now, this is the Climate Prediction Center's 8 to 14-day precipitation outlook, and you see that big green bullseye that's right here across the Pacific Northwest, especially near and west of the Cascades across not only Washington State, but also Oregon. Some pretty wet weather. Some stronger systems going to be heading our way, and that will mean some heavier rain will be ahead as we head on to that point. Maybe that means, too, some heavier mountain snow. We'll see how all of that does shape up. Your forecast here over the next 7-day stretch, looking like we'll mix in a few wet days to go along with some of our drier days, too. Tomorrow, I think, overall is pretty dry. We'll head into the day on Friday, see some of those showers around. Most of them going to be pretty light in nature. And then Saturday and Sunday, an increasing chance of rain Saturday, sticking around heading into the day on Sunday, and then just a few showers around as we'll stay into the 50s next Monday and Tuesday before a bit of a break there by next Wednesday. Here's Port Angeles, clear skies, beautiful look at Mount Baker off to the distance, and look here in Seattle as temperatures right now are holding pretty steady in the 50s yet again. A few of those clouds will be in place. We'll expect those to break down as we head on into the night. And temperatures right now that are sitting more so into the upper 50s into the early part of your Wednesday evening will eventually and quickly drop down into the low 50s and into the 40s as we go deeper on into the nighttime hours. And by tomorrow morning, expect to be more around those lower 40s. Here's radar, and you can see nothing happening as we speak right now. Big picture, well, we do have this area of high pressure that's more of the driving force for our forecast for the time being, but that's going to be heading out of here. We'll have our area of low pressure that's in the Gulf of Alaska start to spin some of those clouds our way, and that system that impacted us here over the past weekend, well, that's over the Rockies right now and impacting them with rain in the lowlands and more of the snow across the mountains there. For us, well, we do expect to see just a few of those passing clouds here into the night. Tomorrow morning, generally clear skies, but we are going to see the clouds quickly race in, so by tomorrow afternoon, that's 2 to 3 o'clock for you, you're starting to see a lot more of that cloud coverage in place, and even maybe a few light sprinkles as you head out towards more the north coast. That moisture tries to work its way farther to the east, but you can see a lot of it breaking down as it does so. So I wouldn't be too worried about any sort of heavy rain, and it's not going to disrupt any of your plans really at all heading into tomorrow evening. Just a few of those light showers will be possible, and again, should it be impact as far as the Mariners and Blue Jays Game 4. By Friday, here we are. That system is off to the east, but we do have some convergence zone activity that could help to develop maybe a few light sprinkles here and there as we head on into the middle and latter part of the day. And then by Friday night, things beginning to quiet on down. And then it's not until we head into the second half of the day on Saturday before we see those showers returning to the area with that larger system, which you can see a lot more widespread rain just off of the coast there as we head into late Saturday morning. Rainfall amounts with this is going to be over the next 24 to 48 hours. Little, if anything, really popping up, less than 1/10 of an inch for many spots. And looking at future casts, here it is. You can see that system moves its way on through. That will be the first one that we're going to see here into the weekend. That will be definitely more of a rain and mountain snow producer. Now, limited mountain snow because I think we are still going to see some of those snow levels up around 5,000 feet. We'll continue on into Tuesday and Wednesday. Most of the action farther to the north. But as we continue on, you can see Wednesday night into Thursday, and then Thursday you can see those systems are lining up just off of the coast, and they'll be heading our way, which will lead to that wetter than normal pattern we were talking about at the beginning of this segment. Now, as far as the snow levels, they do start to drop down, but we'll be closer to about 4,000 feet heading into Sunday. So some snow possible across the higher terrain, but don't expect to see a ton of it. Here's your forecast tonight. We'll drop down into the upper 30s around Bremerton, mid-30s around Shelton, and that's an increase from this morning's numbers. Lower 40s around Tacoma and in Seattle. And then highs tomorrow getting up to 55 around Orcas Island. Mount Vernon will hit 59 degrees for a high. Farther south in the upper 50s around Arlington, Coopville up to 57, Maltby hitting 59 degrees. Just barely getting up to 60 around Redmond. Renton up to 61. Maple Valley hitting 59. And we'll see the upper 50s around Belfair, Olympia. We'll get up to 61 there, and it looks like we'll top off at about 63, getting closer to Puyallup. All right, your forecast over the next 7-day stretch, kind of still holding on to generally the low 60s and more the mid to upper 50s for highs. So not a huge difference when it comes to our high temperatures. We'll keep them warmer on some days, or at least milder, and then cooler on some days with those overnight lows generally in the mid to upper 40s without as much of the clear skies ahead for us, or as many of the clear skies ahead as we go deeper on into the week. And if you are watching for rain, or so, heading into Saturday evening, Saturday night, and into the day on Sunday is going to be your time period. Before we do get into that window where it looks like late next work week, we'll start to look out for some of those stronger systems to head our way.